help reinforce these three principles with your own kids. My colleague, Joe Thomas, is talking about these principles with your kids in the other room tonight. Okay, ELM tree of mastery, filling the emotional tank, honoring the game. So, in order to understand what we call the ELM tree of mastery, and what this concept, what the research calls a mastery approach, it helps to compare and contrast a scoreboard definition of winning or a scoreboard definition of success with a mastery definition of success. So scoreboard, at the end of 6 innings, who's got the most runs? Your winners, your losers. Mastery definition, the focus is on effort. How hard do we try? Do we give it our best? Do we know what great effort looks and feels like? Scoreboard definition, there's a constant comparison with others. They're in first, we're in third. Their pitcher shaves, ours doesn't. Mastery definition, the focus is on, rather than a comparison with others, the comparison is with ourselves. Are we learning? Are we improving? Are we further along as baseball players today than we were last week? Are we a better ball club now than we were at the beginning of the season? And the third difference between the scoreboard definition of winning and mastery definition of winning is this one. Scoreboard definition says mistakes are not okay. A mastery definition of winning says mistakes are okay. A mastery-oriented coach understands that kids learning to play baseball, developing, they're going to make mistakes. It's actually a natural part of the process. Instead of mistakes being viewed as something to fear, mistakes are viewed as learning opportunities. Mastery-oriented teachers say that learning cannot be maximized unless mistakes are happening. If you want maximum learning, you have to be willing to take mistakes along the way. Great coaches say that mistakes are the lifeblood of learning. Okay, so this is one of the principles that we teach coaches. And why do we call it the ELM tree of mastery? Emily, why do we call it the ELM tree of mastery?
Well, the letters say ELM.
What letters say ELM?
Learning, and effort for E for effort, L for
effort?
learning, and M for mistakes are okay.
Did you guys all catch that? Okay, all right. Okay, let's move to let's take a look at this one right here. I'm going to move to the mistake ritual. Okay, so if we want kids to understand that mistakes are okay, if we want them to understand that they're in a mastery environment, one thing that can help them is to use a tool called the mistake ritual. It's described in detail on page 26, but I'll summarize it for you. A mistake ritual is simply a physical gesture that we use to show that we understand that on this team we're allowed to make mistakes. And furthermore, I've put the mistake behind me and I'm moving forward. You can count on me the next play. Okay? One of our favorite mistake rituals, we've seen it used in college basketball. We've seen it used by a national championship winning baseball team at Cal State Fullerton. We've seen it used by our Olympic gold medal softball team. The basketball guys, their coach taught them to do this as the mistake ritual. Okay? The softball players, they did this. They were women. Do you know what? Flush. Okay? The mistake ritual was flush. Okay? These athletes were taught this is what we do with mistakes on this team. We flush them down the drain and we move forward. The softball team, they actually had a toy commode in the dugout. This is an Olympic team. A toy commode in the dugout. And after a bad at-bat, or if they made an error on the field, when they got to the dugout, they went over, it made the sound, and for them, it helped them deal with mistakes. Okay? It doesn't have to be flush. We've heard coaches use shake it off, no sweat, brush it off. I just got an email from a coach that attended workshop recently. He said, I've got my mistake ritual. He sent me a picture. Gosh, I should pull it up on my iPhone. He sent me a picture, and in his dugout, he's going to hang a whiteboard. This is cool. I've had it 2 months. I feel like a modern man, finally. Mindset, my growth mindset. I mean, believe me, what I'm going to do right now, a year ago, I couldn't do it. And I think I can do it now. Okay, I'm going to send this around. Okay. All right, after all that build-up, it's not on my cell phone. It's on my computer, so.
What was it?
Oh, what was it? Okay. He's going to have a whiteboard. And on his whiteboard, the top section is going to be left blank. It's going to say like Reds. I think the team that is Reds. And then a blank section. Then on the bottom section, it's going to say, my coach believes in me. My teammates believe in me. I believe in me. And he's going to have a pen, and when a player makes a mistake or has a bad at bat or whatever, they're going to be able to write, bad at bat or error. They're going to grab the eraser and erase it, and they're going to see that message over and over. The point of that was not a good use of 5 minutes of workshop time. The point of that was that a mistake ritual can be anything that athletes, parents, or coaches want it to be. Okay, first principle is altitude mastery. Let's talk about the second principle. Which car would you rather be driving? You know nothing else about the vehicle except this. Anybody want the one on the left? Almost $5 a gallon, right? And empty tank, you can't go far. Full tank, you can go a long way. We have tanks too. Kids have tanks. PCA calls it the emotional tank. When our emotional tank is empty, we tend to be pessimistic, give up easily, not very coachable. When our emotional tanks are full, we tend to be optimistic, we deal well with adversity, and we are more coachable. Yes, coaches can help their teams win by teaching them good technique, by using good strategy. Coaches contribute to the scoreboard success in a lot of ways. One of the best ways for a coach to contribute to scoreboard success is ensuring, to the best of their abilities, that their players' emotional tanks are full when they take the field and that they stay full throughout the game. So if we want to be good tank drainers, or if we want to be good tank fillers, it's something we have to pay attention to. Some of the things that tend to drain tanks are listed here. Some of the things that tend to fill tanks are listed on the right. It may be interesting to you that we list correction as a tank drainer. Isn't part of coaching correcting players? If they're doing it wrong, isn't part of coaching letting them know the right way to do it? Yes. Okay? So why is it over here on the draining side? It's the coach's job. So if the parents are yelling, Billy, back up, or choke up, or that could be, that's part of it. Yeah, why else?
I was saying it's how you deliver the correction. I mean, if you're going to yell it out on the field somewhere where everybody hears it, it drains tank. Wait till he comes in after the inning, maybe sit down next to him and say, hey, next time you might want to think about doing this way.
Correction implies a mistake, implies it's not being done correctly, right? That's why we're correcting it. So when we publicly point that out, big tank drainer, even when we privately point it out and deliver it in the most caring, teaching way, it can still have a tank draining effect because part of the message is you didn't do it right last time. Even though I don't say that. So we're not saying, we're recognizing that correction and all these other things can drain tanks. We're not saying don't correct players. We're saying be aware that it can have a tank draining effect and make sure that you do lots of tank filling to supplement it. Too many coaches, their feedback, their coaching feedback, is all over here on this side. We want you to do some correcting. We want you to do a lot of tank filling. How much tank filling? What's the best ratio? What